Hi Scorpio, welcome to the full moon in Gemini reading for November 27th, 2023. As I've listened to some astrology forecasts, some people say it's a bit of a tense energy. We shall see. But speaking of tension, the direction that your reading is going in is number 5, intention and back and forth. So kind of makes a little sense with your reading. 5 is the roller coaster ride. It means change and it can be a little bit disruptive. Your intentions, though, we're talking about here, can kind of go back and forth. And so maybe during this next 2 weeks, and certainly with this reading, maybe you're not 100% convinced about one decision, or you keep waffling back and forth with ideas or plans or ways of thinking, but it's certainly your intention. And so maybe you don't pin down what it is that you want to do, but you can kind of go back and forth with ideas and at least weigh out the options. But it is very changeable, so it's kind of like, once you've decided on one thing, it changes, and maybe then you think, okay, let me let me go the other way, and that changes. And so, we'll see. That's the direction of the reading. Your particular focus, however, is justice. Okay? It is justice, law, karma, equality, and decision. The card reads. For me, it has also a very deeper meaning. We're trying to weigh out a situation. I mean, even here, you see, he's trying to balance on this seesaw. So it is always, justice is always seeking balance. You may need to make some decisions and, again, kind of waffling back and forth. But what the Justice card asks is that we keep a lighter heart during this period of back and forth and trying to balance situations. And that can be difficult with the Libra card. Justice is associated with Libra because they have the ability to see both sides of a situation, thus making it a little more difficult to make that decision. So they make sense together, really. But it does have something to do with your intentions. And so maybe you're just looking at both sides and trying to weigh out what is the best decision in this case. And you just seem to kind of be going back and forth. The thing that the Justice card is saying is that whatever decision you do make, either one of them will have challenges and rewards. So, is there a better decision? Maybe, but in any case, whatever you choose, you're going to have to deal with both sides of the situation, because that's reality, because we live in a dualistic world. Right? Positive and negative, up and down, left and right, etc., etc. All right, so I'm going to lay out all the cards first. And the first column is what you're dealing with at the time of the full moon, maybe something that you're trying to close out. You have 2 5s, 3 5s. So that's a lot of change and instability. The center column is you and how you're dealing with the whole situation. Wow. And the last column is the possible outcome, justice again. And this has been happening with all the readings. It's whatever, there's a lot of double cards going on with your focus and another card in the reading that kind of doubles down. All right, so this is some intense energy indeed. All right, let's have a look, Scorpio. Okay. two fives, definitely on a roller coaster ride, and there is a need for some change. Now, you can be dealing with some large organizations. Again, this can be the government, schools, hospitals, the DMV, any organization. And there can be some difficulty where that is concerned. Maybe some dramas are being played out with that Five of Swords. Words have an impact here. So what is being said, I think you need to kind of take with a grain of salt, because things seem to be heightened here. There seems to be a heightened energy, right? This is very much ego energy, as is the Devil card. And this can also be a no answer. The Hierophant is often no, or you need more permission, you need to fill out forms, you need to stand in line, you may get partial answers, not full answers in the next 2 weeks. The Crown is really coming forward for me here, so there can, maybe this has a lot to do with information or your own head, right? How you're thinking about things. You could be negating some information that comes out. You don't want to hear it, you don't want to know it, that kind of thing, because the Hierophant can be blocked sometimes. Again, these are organizations, so they're like, yeah, you can join, but first you have to go through an initiation, or first you have to fill out these forms, or, you know, first you have to ask permission. It's not free-flowing with the Hierophant. And for me, the Five of Swords are dramas that are being played out. It can be something that's very hard won, right? You may get what you want. It may not be the way you want it. And again, roller coaster ride. Things can be very changeable, right? Back and forth with your intentions. What do I want? What do I really want? There can be some win factors. There can be some lose factors with the Five of Swords. But words have impact, so even if you're speaking to yourself, right, or how you speak to others, it's going to be impactful. We'll put it that way. Well, you have the Judgment card here with that. 2 major arcana. These are epiphanies. This is something that awakens us, right? It's the clarion call. It's a call to action. You just want to be careful or be mindful what that action is, because it has an impact. Like I said, your words have an impact here. And if you want to stay away from dramas playing out around you, it's about minding the ego. Okay? The Judgment card is a call to action. It is information that is heard. It's the clarion call, right? We're putting things together. We're coming to new conclusions with the Judgment, right? We may hear some information. We may hear something that kind of wakes us up out of a stupor. And we have to do something then. We have to do something about it. We have to act on something. It is a rebirth card, though. Okay. It wouldn't surprise me if the Death card comes out, because I am continuously kind of getting this energy of rebirth, or this information is coming of rebirth, of a big switch, big change. But we don't have it here yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if we did. Okay, so let's go to you and how you're dealing with this situation. You have the Devil and you have the Page of Pentacles. And interestingly enough, both of them are ruled by Capricorn. This is my Capricorn card, the Page of Pentacles, and the Devil is ruled by Capricorn. So, the Devil. These are things, codependencies, things that are we need to release and let go of. Could be a dramatic mindset, right? Dramatizing things, making them bigger than they actually are. inflating, egoic energy. It can be also temptation. So we might be tempted to do something here. The interesting thing with the Page of Pentacles, and that's you and how you're behaving, is it's an empowering card. It really is. So maybe you will have the energy and the power to remove any codependent energy, anything that is not serving you, something that maybe it can even be belief systems, because we have the Tower card here, things that we believed before that we really held on to, that are not good for us anymore. Now here's the really interesting thing about these two cards, okay? The Hierophant and the Devil are both holding their hand up. But the Hierophant, which are kind of like blockages, right? There's a partition between you and knowledge. And you can't have all the knowledge because you have to go through some sort of initiation first. The Hierophant, the priest here, holds up his hand and shows you two. He doesn't give you the full hand. You don't get full knowledge here. You don't get to know everything all at once. However, the Devil holds a full hand out. He has an open palm to you. He shows you exactly what it is that you need to release, what you need to let go of, what is no longer serving you, what's actually not good for you. It's that kind of energy. And so you get to see in full what's going on, right? What are the things and that is empowering. Now, whether or not you loosen the chains, well, the chains are already loose, right? But whether or not you take them off is up to you, but you're certainly being given the opportunity to see. Now, if you're behaving like the Devil, you can be the antagonist in this situation, right? You could be the person, this could be you, right? Saying hurtful things, saying difficult things, that kind of energy. You can be the antagonist here because it is in your side of the reading. And so this card is definitely saying, mind what you say. Your words have impact. Yeah, there is this release of old emotional baggage. Stuff that we've been holding on to for a long time with the Devil. Things that we know we should have probably let go of, but we didn't. And now we can walk away from it. We have this is definitely the energy of, yes, I am empowered. Yes, I've seen the writing on the wall. And now I can leave it behind. And I can do better, strive harder, expect better of myself, that kind of energy. And maybe even people around me. But walking away from old emotional baggage. Interesting. The outcome is justice. This kind of gives me that feeling of the intention card, right? Now we have it here as well, justice. But for me, it's also like this seesaw that we're on. And trying to find that equilibrium, trying to find the balance. That's Libra, right? That's justice. Trying to see both sides of the situation and bring them both to some equilibrium, to some kind of just way of thinking about both sides of the situation. And that's kind of what needs to happen with this, because this is very egoic energy here. And justice is saying, well, if you can see both sides of the situation, you have no malice for either, right? You just understand things. There's an understanding here. And why maybe both sides are necessary. Again, the Justice card always reminds me of the part in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, where your heart is weighed against a feather, and if your heart is as light as a feather, you get to move on. And that's what's kind of going on here, right? if we're upset about things, we continue to say, continually to create drama around us, right? And also with the devil card, and then we hold on to it. This is what causes karma, which is justice. It's stuff that we can't let go of. It's an argument maybe that you hold on and you just think, well, this wasn't right. It just wasn't right. In actuality, the Justice card is saying, look at both sides, understand both sides, and then you'll be middle path, right? You'll be between the two dualistic energies. You'll be center. You can see both sides of them, and then that anger or the hatred or the malice subsides because there is an understanding of the necessity for the dualistic energies. Okay? And that, in turn, breaks down old belief systems. We can release what is no longer necessary and rebuild on firmer ground, because whatever is lost with the tower, right, whatever falls, whatever beliefs we change, whatever was not built on solid ground, which is the justice, right? Both sides, they're built on solid ground. Look at the ground that she's on. It's rock solid. Whereas this one, it's a little bit craggy. It's a little bit rocky. It's not firm. You get the opportunity to build on solid ground again, right? You get to rebuild some belief systems that are more solid. I think justice for me is understanding that there is a purpose to something negative that happens. There's purpose there. There's a reason for it. And then we're not blaming the negative. We're just understanding why it's there. And that neutralizes it. It balances it out. Yeah. The Wheel of Fortune. So you have quite a few major arcana cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a good majority. So this is a lot that's going on an internal level for you. The Wheel of Fortune is saying life is a gamble. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But that's life. But no matter where you are on that wheel, there's something to learn from it. And that's the whole idea, is the experience of both sides of a situation. So you come to those equilibrium. So you come to the equilibrium. So you come to the understanding of the necessity of both sides. And again, that brings neutrality. That brings the middle path. That brings the Buddhist, right, middle path, where we are supposed to walk. And yet we jump from one side to another, so we can have that experience and kind of bring it all together to have that understanding. Something is a bit of a gamble with the Wheel of Fortune, but it does say that there is a change in fortune because of this. It has two aspects here, and I would say the Justice card is the thing that brings it to balance, but the Tower card can give it a sort of negative aspect, and so it really is a gamble. It really is kind of like, how are you going to accept what is in front of you? And that will be where you are on the wheel. Are you at the bottom of the wheel moving up? Are you at the top of the wheel moving down? But the wheel continues, and you'll find yourself up and down and all around, over and over. The snake is wisdom for me, right? And the snake is middle path. And it's the center between the two. We're learning something from it. The entire purpose of having the experience in the first place. What does Spirit want you to know? You have the Three of Swords. This can be heartbreak, but it can also be relief. Suffering, growth, right? So suffering, these two cards, even the Hierophant for me, I feel is a bit of suffering because um, there's a blockage, right, with the Hierophant. But you also have relief. And I think even the Tower for me is relief because there was something that you couldn't get out of the Tower, even if it was a belief system. You really held on to that belief and it wasn't serving you, but you found it difficult to release it and let it go. But something happens, right? Something adverse happens. Um, and finally, you can say, okay, I get it, I understand it. There's relief there. Sorrow, acceptance. The Three of Swords is indeed separation and heartbreak. But for me, the cut happened with the Two of Swords. And the Three of Swords is kind of feeling the difficulty from the cut, but that is the beginning of healing it, renewing it, rebuilding, restructuring. And that is the Three of Swords. Scorpio, this is not the easiest reading, but I think what you come away from is the ability to rebuild and rebuild on solid ground. And it serves its purpose. And if you can see that, you can bring equilibrium to the situation and rebuild on solid ground. And and take a new chance with the Wheel of Fortune, right? We've rebuilt this situation. Now let's see where that takes us. That's kind of the the feeling that I'm getting with that outcome. It's only 2 weeks. I wish you the very, very best. My heart is with you. Take good care, and I'll be back with a new moon reading, which will serve to open up new possibilities, new cycles for you as you're ending this one. Take very good care, Scorpio. Talk to you soon. Bye for now, and thank you for listening.